Hey guys, welcome back to another update of my Canadian dividend investing portfolio series. So if you're new to the channel, basically what I do is every week or sometimes twice a week, I just drop in here and give you guys an update on the stocks that I have bought and talk about the performance of my portfolio and really discuss a lot of the information that's visible here in this custom Google Sheet that I made. If throughout the video you're interested in trying the Google Sheet, there's a link in the description below where you can get it. And I've got some instructional videos on how to get started and how to use it. And as always, if you do want to use this spreadsheet and you run into some issues, my email is in the welcome tab and I'm happy to help you out if some issues arise. But anyways, overall the portfolio is doing really well right now. We're up almost 15% or almost $10,000. That's insane for me. That's the highest it's been for me since I've started, and that's really awesome to see. Just under 2,000 of that has come from dividends that I have received, which means about the other 7,000 or so has come from the increase in stock price, some of which is still unrealized, meaning I still hold the stocks and haven't sold them, and some of it is realized as well, as I have on certain companies when they have gone up, I've sold off and then shifted that money around. But basically the majority of this is coming from the increase in stock price, with still a healthy amount coming from dividends. But today I had around $500 in cash, and I actually bought into a new company that doesn't pay a dividend. But before we get into that, let's take a look here in the portfolio just for interest's sake, just to check out how everything is doing so far. So I think we'll sort this to put the biggest positions at the top. Just to give you an idea of my biggest positions, mostly real estate. And as we go down here, you can kind of see as we go smaller into some of my smaller positions. I do also like sorting it to have the biggest gains at the top. Wow, TD is really doing well right now. And then the biggest losers down here at the bottom. Most of the account is now in the green, which is pretty nice to see. And that's just because a lot of these companies happen to be doing well at the moment. And a lot of the times I am buying stocks when they're in the red, which brings down my average price, which makes them easier to get back into the green if the stock price increases. And for me, that seems to be working, and I'm happy doing that with a dividend investing strategy, because even if the company is going down a little bit, if I think they're going to go back up in the long term, that's fine. But basically, I'm going to be buying those dividends cheaper. The stocks for cheaper is still getting the same dividend for that company. So it kind of works for me, but it's not necessarily for everyone. Now, I did buy into a new company today, and that company is actually a Bitcoin mining company called Bitfarms. So let's pull up their Yahoo Finance page, which is right here, and they're .v, which means they're listed on the Toronto Stock Venture Exchange, or I don't know how to say that, the Toronto Venture Stock Exchange. So it's not the Toronto Stock Exchange, it's a little bit different, but pretty much still listed in Canada. I'm actually a little bit annoyed because I am kind of in the habit of buying stocks on Monday and Friday just because that's what works for me with my schedule. But actually a few days ago when this company was down, they were sitting around here. They were about 406, I think, when I was thinking, man, I should really buy these, but I held off because I was going to wait till Friday to buy. And then they just started climbing and I was like, okay, shoot, I'm just going to pull the trigger and buy these guys anyways. If we look at their max chart here, you can kind of get an idea of what's going on. Right around December 2020, they really exploded. And they've been doing pretty well in the last year and a half or so. But this is a Bitcoin mining company, and they are actually, if you come down here and look at their revenue, their annual revenue is down a little bit, but if you look at the quarterly, in the last few quarters, they are just really climbing aggressively. And I'm actually really interested to think about how much revenue this company is actually pulling in. Even though in the last little while, let's see if we can bring up Bitcoin price here. I think we can get it right here. Even though in the last few months, Bitcoin has really been down compared to some of its recent highs. And these guys, specifically in the last few quarters, the revenue is just driving up, even though the price of Bitcoin is generally low lately, which I think is a really good sign. And if they're able to pull this off at a low price of Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does manage to climb back up again, I think these guys are well positioned in the future to really pump out a lot of money. And it is worth noting that their stock chart is pretty similar shape to what we just saw for the price of Bitcoin as well. But anyways, this is not a dividend paying company, which most of my stocks are, but I'm okay with these guys. Actually, in today alone, they've actually went up 8%, and I bought them. We're gonna have to check the price that I paid for them, but it was somewhere around here early in the morning. and I'm up actually a little bit already on this position. Who knows which way it will go, but I'm going to hold on, I don't know for how long, but at least some amount of time before eventually selling out of this position and reinvesting it into dividend paying companies. So let's actually pull up Wealthsimple Trade here for a minute. And we can come down because now Bitfarms is one of my holdings. So I actually went up, let's take a look here. From when I bought, my average price was $4.57 earlier today. And they closed at $4.82 per share today, which is awesome. So I actually went up 5.5%, which is really nice to see. But again, it's pretty volatile and it's pretty sketchy industry, so we're gonna have to wait and see where this goes. But I might wait till I double or something when I really think to pull my money out, or at least 50% or something like that. I haven't really decided yet. But anyway, so we can see the order that I made today was I bought 100 shares at $4.57, so it was $457. And what I actually want to do is I want to bring this into the Google Sheet, and I want to log this in the Transactions tab. So the way to log something that's on the Toronto Venture Stock Exchange, instead of TSE in the spreadsheet, you have to use CVE, which is the Google Finance format for the TSXV exchange. It's a lot of acronyms all in one sentence, but basically there are CVE colon and then it's BITF for their ticker. And that should pull up their actual name here of Bitfarms, so we know we've got it in correctly. And I picked up these guys today. It was March 17th, 2022. I bought 100 shares at a unit price of $4.57. I paid $0 in trading fees, and this was in Canadian dollars. So what I want to do now is in the portfolio tab, because I've just added a new position, I want to add it in here. And to do that, the way I like to do it, I track these in chronological order. So I'm actually going to set this A to Z. So I have this number here. It's totally optional for you if you're using the sheet to do it this way. Basically, I want to also turn off the filter. So I'm going to click this button up here. And then I'm going to drop this in. I don't really know what these guys would be in, if they're in industrials or IT or financials. I'm probably just gonna, for fun, just put them in with financials, I guess. I don't really know. I might change that later. It's kind of choose your own adventure here. But we're gonna put this in CVE, BITF. This is gonna pop up with all of the correct information. So there we see that same 5.47% that Wealthsimple was reporting. I want to turn back on the filter so in the future I can sort this again, but it will basically include Bitfarms. So we're going to hit this button again, and now the filter will extend all the way down. If you didn't do that, then this green line would be here, and you'd be sorting without the latest entry. But anyways, that is included now. So for example, if I wanted to sort by the biggest percent of my holdings, Bitfarms is probably still going to be down here at the bottom. Yeah, because they make up only $482, and that is still my smallest position, but that's okay. Yeah, so anyways, there we go. Let's take a look here in the summary tab. My annual dividend income has not changed because they don't pay a dividend, so that's fine. I'm still expecting this in my average monthly payment. My cash has been reflected here because I did spend the money that was available there before. It was like around $500. So that's pretty much it for this video. I'm going to be pretty interested in here to kind of follow along with how Bitfarm does. Like I said, I don't know how long I'll be holding on to them, but for sure a little while, and I think I could see some pretty reasonable gains here. And if they do dip down a little bit in the future, I'll probably add in more. But otherwise, I'm looking to go up a little bit and then hang on, and when I decide it's time to sell, then at some point sell out of this and reinvest it into my favorite type of stock, which is dividends. So guys, thanks a lot for watching. Let me know what you think about Bitcoin mining companies or companies related to Bitcoin that are listed on the stock exchanges. And if you actually hold any, that would be interesting, because I know there's a couple different ETFs and public companies and stuff that deal with Bitcoin. So guys, let me know about that down in the comments. I'll see you down there and in the next video.